Hey there, so today we are returning to the Mary Sue, and we're going back to the wonderful world of entertainment. Now this delves into my part-time vocation, cringe farming. Wow, you talk about some cringy hot takes. The reason that this works as cringe is because of the hypocrisy that's really buried within it, and the fact that, of course, when they're going to give those hot takes, they're going to talk about men. It's really telling, too, when you look at this kind of criticism for Ghostbusters, saying maybe it's time to let the Ghostbusters die. Well, when people said that before, what kind of articles did they get? The Ghostbusters trailer backlash shows men believe in the power of representation, but only when it applies to them. So when we get down to that, well, maybe you can turn that around. Maybe you can talk about people that work at the Mary Sue and that word, representation, and how it only applies in a specific vacuum. Also, when you go out, you see all of that sexist complaints about the new Ghostbusters movie are garbage. Well, considering everything was looped into the if you didn't like it, you're a sexist, yeah, why don't we have a little bit of turnabout? Because I feel like turnabout is fair play. So anyhow, let's look at this article because I think a lot of this is funny. So this new Ghostbusters, if you haven't heard anything about it, according to comicbook.com, as they point out, it's going to feature 2 boys and 2 girls. All right, and they're talking about, well, you know, I love that last remake. I actually loved it quite a bit. And well, that's where we need to stop. I mean, obviously, they say, people were mad because the movie somehow ruined the childhood of men, you know, because anyone who didn't like that take on it, they were all men, even though they could go watch Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson movie whenever they wanted. So the backlash was so great that we got one movie from the female Ghostbusters and nothing else. So this really gets down to the reason they're mad, because they want more female Ghostbusters, because again, you have representation and you like it, but only when it applies to you. Isn't that very telling? But continuing on here, then they talk about how they would be lying if they said they weren't intrigued. I mean, they talk about the director. They talk about if the rumor's true, it would follow 2 boys and 2 girls. It's the happy medium between 2 different Ghostbuster crews. So really, the only thing that these folks see is, again, gender there. And well, you know, we're not going to get another Ghostbuster movie that features all females, but at least it doesn't feature all men. I mean, that's pretty much the statement here, is it not? But continuing on, all that being said, there are other movies we could be making. Yeah, you know what? Hollywood just shut down and it stopped making any other type of movie. They said, hey, you know, Ghostbusters, that's the pinnacle. That's the only movie that Hollywood gets to make in the next year. So that's it. You know, you can't watch anything else. Amazing the way that goes across. Continuing. Yes, I love the Ghostbuster movies. I remember watching them as a kid and loving Egon. I wanted to dress up, When I saw the fire station in New York City, it had a logo on it, I screamed and promptly made my friend take multiple pictures of me in the rain. But I could also do without another Ghostbusters movie. All you have to do is pick up the last 3, they say, and there you go. You got it there. Basically, that's the penultimate. But continuing on, it's just that you can make this movie under any other name and it'd be fine. But you put the Ghostbusters on it, and suddenly, again, every man who ever watched the movie as a kid is going to crawl out of his mom's basement and cry because girls can't fight ghosts, even if they have boys helping them. Well, they had to end up with a little bit of that sexism, fifis, because again, you know, everything's down to representation, but only when it applies to you. Also, I love the freaking current year takes that a Mary Sue comes out with. I cannot imagine the headlines that I would have if I made comments like this. If I threw those out there just haphazardly, you know, these people, in addition to calling individuals Nazis and going out and pointing their finger, current year dialogue, yeah, they have stuff like this buried in almost every other article. And hey, that doesn't seem to matter out there. Welcome to almost 2020, right? But Slimer, they say, has had his time. He lived a good life and he terrorized the screen. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man became an icon. We were all the keymaster, and we questioned everything we've ever known when we watched Kate McKinnon lick her gun. So do we really need to go back and watch another Ghostbusters Ghostbusters movie with teenage leads? Probably not. Am I going to watch and love it? Probably. So basically, you just needed something to come up and basically make some kind of sexist woke takes so you could go out and you could say, hey, what I really, really want is that movie that failed before. Because that movie that failed before, well, it's because of men crawling out of their mama's basement and not liking women. Isn't that telling? I want to know, too, the way that the last movie actually came across, does that bother your feelings about a new Ghostbuster movie? Will that impact you going out and actually supporting another movie, even if it's set within the original universe? You're not talking about something that's trying to remake. It's supposed to be a continuation. Do you feel excited about that? Or again, having a director attached to that, does it kind of ruin that? And also seeing what you could get from Hollywood, does that kind of ruin things? You saw exactly how that came across, and I wonder, for myself, I have to ask the same thing. I was excited about a trailer, but I don't know if I was excited as much as I would have been had I not seen cast, directors, and on continually gunning for people that did not like the last movie. Somehow that puts me off of it. And, I also think that studios that go out and do that, I don't really want to reward them. I don't want to say, here, take my money, because you brought a better iteration to that possibly. I don't know if I want to support that. So, let me know what you think about that kind of stuff. Anyhow, if you like this kind of content, please consider supporting the channel. Like, sub, allow the channel to grow. I definitely appreciate that about all of you. Hit that bell, you can get notifications, and if you want to go further, there are links within the description. Considering that a certain platform doesn't like wrongthink, yeah, I definitely would appreciate that. Also, if you want to leave comments, definitely do so. I try to check out as many that I say I can. I actually enjoy people's takes on this. That's why I ask what you think about it. And as always, I do appreciate you showing up, so thank you, and we'll do it again.